as always. In the chapter Depression Set In, towards
Mhm.
the end, I'm going to read a quote, something that your uncle said to you, and then I
Okay.
want you to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
It says, first, allowing me to pour out what is on my heart and listening to comprehend before responding really showed me where he was with this. And this is referring to his uncle. Second, jumping out of his comfortable and cozy bed with my auntie showed me the true support I had from him as well as her. Lastly, he told me basically to confront or embrace my issue in order to fully deal with it. These words of wisdom would take me a little while to grasp, but I eventually completely understood. Those were definitely life changing words of encouragement and great advice, wouldn't you say? And I'd like for you to say or talk about what those words meant to you and what the process of like really fully receiving what he said took for you.
Oh man. First off, that those are, you know, it's always it's always interesting to hear, back what you wrote.
Hmm.
Um, Not because, I wrote it, but because I was really just letting these words flow out of me. It wasn't like, oh, I gotta hit that. Yeah, I gotta nail it. I gotta nail it. No, this was everything that literally step by step. Everything you're seeing is in order, basically, throughout the whole time I'm going through that process. And this is just me recalling it by memory. God brought all this stuff back to my memory. I wasn't like, oh, I'm amazing at this. No, this was what He wanted in that book for people to catch on to, like you're doing right now. Now, getting back to what you're asking me, listen, first off, just the fact that, like you said, he got out of his cozy bed, because I'm sure he was winding down for the night. It was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night when I called him. Um, and my aunt, she could have been like, no, you can just go tomorrow, when you get off work or something. It could have easily been that way. But both of them agreed that Keywan probably needs you. And it was that understanding. Now that I look back on it, because I didn't understand that at the time, I was all about me right then, But now I understand that that was selfless. That's what you call selflessness, okay? And that's the most beautiful thing anybody could ever have. Not to say that you should not care about yourself, but you should at some point in time have that selflessness about you to be able to give to another. Because, I mean, we're supposed to give more than we receive anyway. Uh, but, I mean, good gracious, him coming to pick me up, him first off answering the phone, you know, because if he doesn't answer the phone, it doesn't happen. Um, Him coming over to the house was a different step that he took that actually made it even better, because he could have simply just talked to me on the phone and gave me those same words over the phone. They might not have said in the same way, but he could have easily gave me those same words over the phone. And I would have, taken them in, and be like, okay, yeah, I get it, stuff like that. But when you show up to the house, trying to think, he lives maybe 20, probably 20, yeah, probably like 20, 25 minutes from where my grandma used to stay. He used to stay. And that right there, he didn't just come to the house and sit with me. He came and picked me up and we rode like to Cary. We didn't even stay in Durham. We rode out to Cary. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there, we just sat and talked at night. And the other thing he said, and I'm sure you probably read this part, but what he said that really set in on me was, Key, I'm surprised it took you this long.
Hmm.
That right there was
When I
like,
read that part, I was like, it hit me for some reason.
yeah, yeah. When he said that to me, I was like, I made this one face, like, huh? What you mean? Like, what you mean? And he was like, because honestly, I thought this would have happened a long time ago. And I was like, oh, I guess. I didn't know what this. I was like, yes. He was like, Key, you're actually more strong. You are stronger than you really know. And I was like, I guess I am. And that's when he started pouring those words into me. And so him saying for me to, in order to, get through this process, I need to confront and embrace the issue. I was like, well, what is that? I'm just kind of thinking like, what does that really mean? And how is that going to help? Like, you know, you can always, go stand in front of something, but embracing it. And I'm like, what, and confronting this thing? Why do I need to do that? I don't want to be bothered with it. But until you do that, guess what? And I write this in the book. It's gonna keep catching up to you, regardless of how you try to run. I don't care what you get on. You can take a bus, plane, car, or a train. It's gonna catch you, and he's gonna mess with you all day, all night. It's gonna be worse than a little kid that you just don't like. Okay. And so I fully understood that because once you embrace it and confront it, you now know how to deal with it. You now know how to handle it. And now you can speak to that thing and say, you can get away from me now, or I can handle you later.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
when that power comes in. Just having control over your life, get control back in your life. It's really what
Yeah.
that does. So
That's awesome.